Stephen Potts, the 5th District Deputy DA, Stephen Potts, he said this: "We now believe that there is no intent by Mr. Willett, i.e. Robert Willett, to do anything illegal. He didn't intend to do it. Hey, come on, Judge. He didn't intend to do anything illegal. He may have taken the $1,500, but did he intend to take it illegally? We think there was a pattern previously of bonuses being paid, and Mr. Willett has refunded the money to the district attorney's office." Okay? Robert Willett's refunded the money, so there was just a simple accounting error. They fixed the accounting error. It's all gravy. It's all good. A Class 5 felony? What do you mean? It's only $1,500, Chief Judge Michael Gonzalez is going to say this, because they're all making six figures, right? $1,500 ain't shit to these guys. But $1,500, that's a brand new car, isn't it? $1,500, that's a brand new house. Brand new car, brand new house. $1,500 is, that's everything. $1,500 that's $1 million. Chief Judge Michael Gonzalez says this: "So ultimately, you don't believe that there is any malicious intent, by Mr. Robert Willett, a DA that had worked together. They were on the drug court together. So the DA, they used to throw people in jail together. Now he's looking at his DA who's being charged because he doesn't have the power anymore. And it's like, oh no, he's going to get stuck through the rocket docket slaughterhouse that we call the system. We're going to spare him of the rocket docket slaughterhouse. It's not going to go to a jury trial. There's not going to be any really determination of facts or any kind of punishment whatsoever. Not even a slap on the wrist. Not a ticket. Not even, hey, don't you dare do that again. At least say you're sorry." Chief Judge Michael Gonzalez says, so ultimately, to Stephen Potts, ultimately you don't believe that there was any malicious intent, that the money given to him was returned back to the coffers, to the coffers of the district attorney's office. And quite frankly, this is a case that lacks any type of prosecutorial merit. Wow. He got strong with that second sentence. That first sentence wasn't, but that second sentence was like, and quite frankly, this is a case that lacks any type of prosecutorial merit. And frankly, there's no fucking reason that goddamn Alonzo Payne would even put this forward. He stole, or he took $1,500. It was $1,500. And then when he did it was right after he lost the election. Because he got appointed in December 2019. And he begins his term in January 2020. He didn't get paid in 2019. Robert Willett was appointed by Governor Jared Polis in December 2019. He began his term January 2020. He's going to lose that election November 2020. And then I think that's the December after he loses his election. He's like, well, you sons of bitches don't want old Robert Willett to be DA? Well, I'm going to give myself $1,500. He already makes $130,000. If he was a good DA, he wouldn't have lost his election. So it seems kind of crazy. He just lost the election, and then he was like, I deserve a bonus for losing an election, for being a terrible DA, for being a terrible politician, for not respecting victims' rights, for not giving a shit about Tecumseh. Hey, Robert Willett, thou shalt not steal, Robert Willett. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not burglarize, thou shalt not assault. You shouldn't assault physically or sexually. No kinds of assaults. No rapes. No murders. And thou shalt not steal. You can't take other people's property. That's been good law since Moses and the 10 Commandments. That's what, 1000 BC, 3,000 years ago? Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal, Robert Willett. Thou shalt not steal. Hey, Bobby Willett. Why'd you give yourself a bonus? Hey, Bobby Willett. $1,500, my God. That's the thing with these rich and powerful assholes. He already got $130,000 and he's like, I'm going to take myself another $1,000 $1,500. I'm going to take myself another. Is that a fair statement? That is fair, Your Honor. So he's asking the lawyer to Robert Willett. There is no prosecutorial merit whatsoever. There was no merit to this at all. No merit. There was merit. It could have been political, but there is merit to the case. And he's asking his lawyer, and his lawyer says no. Ann Kelly versus Robert Willett versus Alonzo Payne. Number 3. The San Luis Valley is made up of 6 counties: Alamosa, Conejos, Costilla, Mineral, Rio Grande, and Saguache. Saguache, Rio Grande, Mineral, Costilla, Conejos, and Alamosa. Population 46,150 souls. 150 people apparently get a justice system, but 46,000, they don't get jack shit. They get zilch. They get nada. They don't get... They're ex parte. If you're not a lawyer or a cop, then Michael Gonzalez doesn't want to hear from you. If you're not a lawyer or a cop, he will not accept your felony complaint. Get that off of his desk. He don't want to hear about goddamn crimes that are happening in the SLV. Not from you poor peasants. Not from you 46,000 poor peasant nobodies. Are you a cop? Are you a lawyer? Then get the hell out of my courtroom. That's Michael Gonzalez. I hope Ann Kelly or Robert Willett, whoever wins this election, I hope they have different standards. I hope injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, to the winner. I hope they believe that. Population of Alamosa is 16,400. Conejos is 7,500. Costilla is 3,500. So Costilla is half the size of Conejos. Mineral County is 865. They don't even break 1,000. Rio Grande is 11,500. They might be able to do Home Rule County. Rio Grande is 11,500. Rio Grande County. It's really Alamosa and the Rio Grande County, and that's because they got that main interstate right there. Del Norte, Monte Vista, Alamosa City, Blanco, Fort Garland. You might be able to say that's like the main artery of the SLV. Saguache has 6,400. So if you were to put them in order, Mineral County is the smallest, and then Costilla County, and then Saguache County with 6,400. Conejos with 7,500. Rio Grande with 11,500, and then Alamosa with 16,400. 46,000 people, and none of them get a penny's worth of justice from the billion-dollar legal system. It's not a criminal justice system yet. Hopefully the Ann Kelly gets in there and makes it into a criminal justice system. We want justice. We want peace. We want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I'm entitled to it. That's when he gave himself some... Let's see. Okay, so now where are we at? Let's just read some facts about Robert Willett. Robert Willett actually worked in the San Luis Valley for longer than just 2019. He was the top DA in 2019. But he was actually a deputy district attorney and senior deputy district attorney since 2013. Robert Willett now works as a deputy district attorney with the 4th Judicial District Attorney's Office. That's Colorado Springs. He's packed up and moved on. He's already got another job, and he's getting, 6 figures up there. If I got a job in 6 figures, Alamosa was all, great, and I guess, or whatever, but you're up there with 6 figures at Colorado Springs, already established in your life, and now you got to come back here. But he's been here since 2013, so he's been around since 9 years as a deputy district attorney, senior deputy district attorney. For the people that was there beforehand, I'm not sure who that was. Eugene Farish was an old DA. I don't know who all the old DAs were before Robert Willett. And then Alonzo Payne is going to beat Robert Willett in 2020, November 2020. He won the primary with 62%, so Alonzo Payne just wiped the fucking floor with that upturned nose. Snobby anti-victims' rights. He was elected district attorney in the general election in November. Polis announced Monday that Ann E. Kelly will serve as the DA for the 12th Judicial District. starting on September 1st. So it's September, October, November, for over 2 months. The DA of the SLV has been Ann E. Kelly. Ann E. Kelly, the 12th Judicial District. She carries nearly 20 years of law experience. She worked in the private sector. She served in various positions in Colorado's 18th, 19th, and 20th Judicial District Attorney's offices. Where is that at? Where are the 18th and 19th and 20th? I'm honored to be selected for this role. My top priority is to restore trust in the office of the district attorney and the criminal justice system. I like that she called the system the criminal justice system. One of the lawyers I talked to said it was just a legal system, not a justice system, just a legal system. It's just a big fucking legal game. Cops and lawyers, they get in there with their fucking legal shenanigans. Who cares if peace and justice, who cares if truth is, who cares if we have truth, justice, and peace? It's just a big old game. No, we need truth, justice, and peace. Those are the ends. If the criminal justice system isn't delivering justice, then it needs to be dismantled, and we need to get people in there that actually give a shit. Even about the poor old widow. There's a poor old widow in the corner of Rio Grande County. There's somebody in Conejos County, some poor 30-year-old. There's some old lady in a shoe. 10 children don't know what to do. None of them can be burglarized. None of them can be assaulted. None of them can be raped. None of them can be murdered. The law applies to everybody equally. I don't care how poor you are. I don't care if you're a lawyer or you're a cop. Nobody can commit crimes anywhere. I like that she said the system. I like that she said the system. The wicked, stupid, corrupt. They think it's just a game. And they're not trying to achieve security or freedom or peace to the masses. Ann E. Kelly said this in a statement. Restoring trust requires transparency, constant engagement, and implementation of effective systems, while prioritizing being accessible to the community, including law enforcement, victims, community groups, and defense attorneys. Restoring trust requires transparency. Again, systems. Restoring trust requires transparency, constant engagement, implementation of effective systems, while prioritizing being accessible to the community, including law enforcement, victims, community groups, and defense attorneys. Chelsea at the DA's office, she's seen Robert Willett, Alonzo, Payne, and Ann Kelly, and she said she likes Ann Kelly. She wants to keep Ann Kelly. I think Michael Gonzalez likes her too. And compared to the three, I don't think there's a choice. It's clear you have to go with Ann Kelly. I hope she's progressive. I hope she's, when she drives, I hope she looks at the windshield and she doesn't just stay in the rearview mirror on the side or looking this way or looking behind her. I hope she's looking at the road ahead, like Boris Johnson said in his farewell address. So she's going to be accessible to the community, including the cops and the victims and community groups and defense attorneys. It's a nice little list right there. Here's some victims' rights, CRS 24 4.1 302.5. In order to preserve and protect the victim's rights, to justice and due process, each victim of a crime has the following rights. A, the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to be free from intimidation, harassment, or abuse throughout the criminal justice process. B, the right to be informed of and present for all critical stages of the criminal justice process. Again, it's criminal justice. It's not a legal process. It's a criminal justice process. B.7, for a victim of a sex offense, the right to be informed of the filing of a petition by the perpetrator of the offense to terminate sex offender registration pursuant to Section 1622 113(2)(c) CRS. B.9, the right to receive a free copy of the initial incident report from the investigating law enforcement agency, except that the release of a document associated with the investigation is at the discretion of the law enforcement agency based on the status of the case or security and safety concerns in a correctional facility, local jail, or private contract prison as defined in Section 17.1.102A. The right to be informed upon request by the victim when a person who is accused or convicted of a crime against the victim is released or discharged from county jail. B, the right to be informed upon written request by the victim when a person who is accused or convicted of a crime against the victim is released or discharged from custody other than county jails, paroled, escapes from a secure or non-secure correctional facility or program, or absconds from probation or parole. D, the right to be heard at any court proceeding. D, the right to be heard at any court proceeding. The right to be informed about restorative justice practices as listed in 18-1-9013.0.5. 18-1-9013.0.5. The right to be informed of financial and other community services for victims and witnesses, such as 1. Crisis intervention services. 2. Victim compensation funds. 3. Victim assistance resources. 4. Legal resources. 5. Mental health services. 6. Social services. 7. Medical resources. 8. Rehabilitative services. And 9. Financial assistive services. And 10. The right to be informed about the application process for such services. Noble Haven didn't tell me about any of this. Nor Soto Cruz or Danny Sanchez, nor Marco Gonzalez, nor Kim Woods, nor Shelly Quintana, nor Robert Willett, nor Alonzo Payne. None of them gave a shit about victims' rights. Who the fuck gave a fuck about victims' rights? This is the system. It's a rocket docket slaughterhouse. It doesn't protect victims. What are you trying to turn the system on its head around here? The right to be informed of the process of protecting the witness or victim if there's intimidation, abuse, and harassment by the accused or the convicted or their associates. The right to have their employment protected with employer intercession services. The right to be reassured by the prosecutor will aim for a swift and fair resolution. I used to say I've seen it all, so watch County Sheriff Dan Warwick tells Dateline NBC in a broadcast airing Friday. It's about the mummified body of the Love Has Won cult. A lot of things happened under Alonzo Payne's. I don't know if I'll have time to re-adjudicate all these cases. But he had the James Marshall case and the Pruitt thing. James Marshall and Pruitt. And then you had this, right? Mummified body, Love Has Won cult. And mummified cult. And then the James Marshall shooting. You had that, what else was there? Is that it? I think we should talk about these notorious cases till the end of all time. What was the law about it? What was the questions of law? Did they get their preliminary hearing? Was justice served? What were the facts of the case? So, to be continued.